If you class yourself as a classic car restorer, you have to have restored an MG. It's compulsory. Found the car in a chicken shed that a mate of mine had. I knew absolutely nothing about MGs, had never driven one, never worked on one, and had no idea how one was put together. To be honest, if we were any good at it, we'd probably be able to do it in half the time, but we make a lot of mistakes.
Welcome to An MG is Born. Yes, we're building an MG, and what a fantastic company Morris Garages was. Well, it's not that one then. Tell you what, this is very familiar and maybe a taste of things to come. Jeremy? Pete? Doesn't look quite so pretty in the daylight, though, does it? Look at Les. He's going to have a grump on now.
I've signed nothing yet.
That is horrible. You're very confident and relaxed about this, aren't you?
I know. I've done it before.
It's me and him's got to do. Yeah,
Several
exactly.
times.
It's all right for you.
And I'm going to love watching you.
Do the old sniff test, see if there's any petrol in the oil. And that smells very oily and not at all petrol-y, so that's good.
This is the most ridiculous place to test a little sports car like this on the farm. It has a one-way clutch in the overdrive unit, which, if you rotate it the wrong way, absolutely knackers it. So we want to check it works, but also that it's switching it properly and it isn't going to be available in first and second and reverse. So, right. It's a sweet little car, though, really comfortable. This is going to be a cracking car when we finish. You can see, actually, the windscreen's cracked here. And it's also started to delaminate, so we're going to have to put a new screen in anyway, but the frame is in pretty good nick. Just keep holding on there, Pete. Don't drop it on my head. Oh, no! You did that on purpose. What is wrong with it? We have a debate going on here now, because Pete says I can't wear this hat, which
It's not very elegant, is it?
Oh, but the rest of me is. Should we get on now? This is the basic B-Series engine. It's a big old solid cast iron engine, and I want to make it a bit better. So we are going to tweak this, obviously. We wouldn't put the standard engine back in. Get yourself a piece of cardboard for your push rods. So they go starting at the front, hence the arrow, and then just push them through like that. Uno, dos, tres. Come on, join in. Next. Come on, what's 4 in Spanish? Cinco, seis, siete. Why would there be 9 in a 4-cylinder engine? Come and have a look, Pete. See here, it's already been bored out, plus 40.
Where's the number on it?
Yeah. Now we want to go out plus 60, which is interesting because there isn't a lot of space in here, is there? Taking the cam out has been the trickiest part of this engine strip, mainly because we didn't bother reading the manual. It's been stripping the car down, dismantling it into every last little bit. Some of the bodywork problems are really obvious. For instance, the front wings, the door skins and the rear wings. But we're going to start by concentrating on the structural part of the car, which is its integral chassis. Although we've got problems on both sides of the car, you only tackle one side at a time, because with a car like an MGB that's a monocoque and is actually quite weak, and if you cut out all the rotten stuff on both sides, you could seriously weaken the car. It could distort or even, at worst, collapse. So we're going to start with the near side. These are all the body panels that will go on the near side of the car. We start out here with the castle rail. This is the inner step sill. This is the diaphragm, or the kind of middle sill. That's the outer sill there. Rear wing, front wing, and door. Hey. Nice one. So we won't be using that again. Now that looks radically different, doesn't it? There was also another bit here that fell off at the same time. Here it is. This little splash panel that went there, like that, has seen better days, but obviously the sticker outlasts the metalwork, clearly. There you go, mate. A right-hand side chassis rail, and the next job is attach the chassis rails together with the cross members. And to give you a bit of geography, this is where you'd actually sit with the engine in front of you, driving like that. I hope that helps. Leave it to John. First grinding, then chiselling. nice, isn't it, to get one new panel in? That sits up there. Yeah. That's not bad. Experienced people who work on MGs all the time will have faced this problem a million times over, but once you take the strength out of the car by taking the sills out and then taking the floor pan out, things will move, and even if you brace it like this, clearly we've still ended up with problems, but you just got to solve them. Make sure the door fits properly and the gap is good all the way around. So I've got my sturdy drill here as my gauge, and if I run this across here, it should just touch the sides as it comes down. Absolutely spot on. So the next bit we've got to do is to be able to pull this outer bearing case out of the casting of the axle. Put on the hub nut, and then all we're going to do is by tightening the hub nut, that will push the flange that way. It can't go anywhere because of these studs, so it means that the shaft and the bearing will all have to come out this way, or that's the theory. You just need to put in a screwdriver to stop the whole thing turning, and then give it a whiz. There we go. Perfect. It cost us pence. Take it very gently and you wait for a sound change, like that. See? Very metallic. And it's in place. And just check it is engaged. Sounds terrible, that diff. It's going to be better with some oil in it. I really do. If you're trying to compress this spring, the problem is that you're having to pull down in an arc, which is why we use the ball joint. So it means no matter what plane it pulls in, actually the track rod end will move to be able to pull it in a direct line. That's the clever bit. Yeah, that'll be fine. Keep going, Les.
Yeah, real risky, that.
Yeah, it's going well.
I've got long arms.
But I do love it when people say, can't do it, won't work.
And you come back and tell me.
Yeah, and then
You say it can't be done.
I said, Les, it can't be done. And he goes, I've worked in potteries for 30 years,
Hey.
man and boy in engineering department, and you
Yeah.
tell me it can't be done. Do they speak like that in Stoke?
No.
No. Good, that, eh? It's worth a fortune, that. And keep that in my pocket.
Said
Always.
it couldn't be done.
Yeah, always that's going to be in my pocket. So if you ever see me with something rigid in my pocket, you'll know what it is. It's my tool.
Cup of tea, then?
Yeah. We are so chuffed, aren't we? Yay! We've hit a bit of a problem, and it's a serious problem. We've put everything in, torqued up all the main bearing caps, but the crank should rotate really freely now in its bearings. But actually, when you turn it, it's really notchy. And you hit kind of spots like that where it's difficult to get over them, and then it'll flick round, and it's stopped again there. It's not right. You should be able to rotate the crank by hand. Possibly for the first time in the history of engineering, part of an engine is going in its very own taxi. Taxi! Oh no, it's not going to fit!
Bigger taxi!
Bigger taxi, Pete! We are rattling on with the bodywork. We've got to get on and put the rear wing on. Oh, we've got it. Taxi!
We're moving the can bearings.
Tell you what, it's very heavy, this. Guide it in onto the crank. Say goodbye, Sid!
That's all, folks.
We go to a lot of trouble to make you feel part of this show.